First of all, I would like to pay my deep respect to the most valuable triple gem, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. My deep respect to the most venerable Athimuni Mangsang, the president of the Cambodian Buddhist Monk Society in USA, all board directors and members of CBMS, and deep respects to all the venerable Mahasangha in the Buddha Sasana. Especially would like to pay my respect to most venerable Bhikkhu Santedattu, Sadhyan Sơn, who are presented here in the show. And good morning and good evening to all our Dhamma friends, especially Sister Sophia, who are the speaker in our show. Today is Saturday, June 12, 2021. Our program of Buddha Sasana, broadcasting from the page of the Cambodian Buddhist Monk Society located in Munisutaram Temple, Hampton, Minnesota, United States. And today, our topic is the 4 precepts, no false speech. That is very critical topic that we are going to discuss today. And because we have 2 distinguished speakers, Venerable Santidato and me, Sister Sophia, and these 2 speakers are special in different scale. Like Venerable Santidato, skillful in Buddhist perspective, and he's well learned from Myanmar, and he graduated his degree from Myanmar. Will expound his understanding, his knowledge about false speech according to the Buddhist perspective, whereas Sister Sophia will identify, will introduce, or will show us about false speech and importance of truth in social perspective, as well as human rights that we need to talk today. So now we are going to read the question, and our audiences also can send questions through our show today on our page. And I will read that question to our speakers. And the first question that should be talk now, Venerable Sansadin, because you are a monk, you are a Buddhist monk, and you ordained as a Buddhist monk for a long time, and also you know the principles of the Buddhist dispensation. So what are the false speech? What are false speech according to the Buddhist disciplinary and Buddhist perspective? And what is the difference between the false speech in the monk precept and the lay people precept, please?
Firstly, I humbly pay respects to the most venerable rectors of the Buddhist monk societies, the Khmer Buddhist monk societies in Americans. And I pay homage to Venerable Sem Chanti, who is the moderators and the elder Buddhist monks. And hello to Ms. Sophia, who always joins our programs and say your knowledge to the audience. And today our topics is on the false speech. So it is the wide topic, but as we have time limit, so we just have some questions and some aspect on the false speech in the Buddhist aspect and the social aspect. And the first, I'm going to explain the false speech in the Buddhist aspect. So and even in the Buddhist aspect, we divide into two. One is for Buddhist monks, and while the other is for the lay devotee. And for the Buddhist monks, the false speak here is very, we have to take it seriously, because it's even caused the Buddhist monks to fall from the monkhood. We call parajika. That is, it can cause one Buddhist monks to be fall from his Buddhist monkhood. Parajika is very serious, one of the four parajika. And first we explain the meanings of the Musavada. In Pali, the false speak here is Musavada. And some usually maybe understand simply as the telling lie, but in fact, the Musavada is not only simply means telling lies, it is the intentions. It is the intentions that the speak with the wrong intentions or with the bad intentions. This is Musavada. With the intentions to deceive or to destroy the lives of others, or with the intention to steal or to take something else. So this is Musavada, or to speak harm other feelings, hurt other feelings, so on so. Regard in there, the false speak, Musavada. And to understand clearly the word Musavada, we can take the comparisons to the Samavaja. That is one of the components of Eightfold Noble Faith. That is the Eightfold Noble Faith. We can take example and we compare to that. The Samavaja here is not only the speak that refrain from telling lie, but the speak on the truth and the speak that can please the heart of other people, and the speak that refrain from gossiping, the speak that refrain from vain talk, and the speak that refrain from harming other people. That is the false speak. And the Musavada, the word Musavada, he is the fourth, regard as the fourth precept in Buddhism for the lay devotee, the fourth precept, Musavada. And for the lay devotee, the fourth precept is take very important role in the society, in the communication. And as for the monk like the false speak here is can harm oneself as well as to other.
Yeah.
The first one is harm oneself. It caused that monk to fall from the monkhood. It's caused that monk, if he speak in the high state of the monkhood, or on the high state of the superhuman being.
What kinds of speech is that?
We call the Uttari Manusatthama. Uttari
What is that? Yeah.
Uttari Manusatthama. The speak that in the highest state of the supernatural being. He speak very in state about himself, very high state about himself. Like he said that he attains the holiness of his life. He attains the highest state of absorption. We call jhana.
Yeah.
He can see the Deva, or he can see the Brahma with his divine eye. That is the word, the supernatural statements about himself. If anyone they speak with the high state, this one is not caused to the force of the monkhood, but it's anantaraya kamma. Oh no, I'm sorry. It is not anantaraya kamma. It is not that. This one is caused from from the monkhood. He's not regard. If the listener understand the statement that he speak, so this monk is not regard to be a bhikkhu anymore. They understand they acceptable by the listener. So very serious for a Buddhist monk to speak. But just the liberal telling lie is not on that case. It is only the dukkata offense and wrongdoing. If he use only like a maybe he just make a choking or something else, it is not on that high state of the human being. And another danger for a Buddhist monk is the that false speech can be regarded as the heaviest unwholesome actions. Heaviest unwholesome actions of a Buddhist monk. We call anantaraya kamma.
Yeah.
In the Vinaya that the Buddha laid down for a Buddhist monk, anantaraya kamma, that if a Buddhist monk they speak in this court of the group, he bring these words to another group in order to break the group or to make them conflict, and so he commit the anantaraya kamma, like Devadatta, who made the conflict in the monk communities, in the Sangha order. So Devadatta, he commits the anantaraya kamma by that kind of verbal action. And so this is the explanations of the false speech regarding to the lay devotees and to the Buddhist monk. The false speech is the fifth precept or the fourth precept, musavada here. And
Thank
so
you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, the most venerable Santidato, who explained expoundedly about the four precepts of lay devotee as well as the precept of the Buddhist monk. Especially, you identify the categories of false speech according to the Buddhist perspective, related to from the high stage to the low, from the low offenses to the high offenses. I will come back to you again, but because we have Sister Supir who are currently directors of human rights in Cambodia. So according to the human rights and the social aspect, what definition that we can explain or define the word false speech, please?
Thank you so much, Pante. And first of all, I would like to pay my homage to the Triple Gem, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. And my respect to both Pante in the program right now, as well as to the Dhamma friend who are following our talk show as always. And today it is my great honor to join with Pante to discuss one of the important topic and one of the 5 precepts, which is the false speech. So as Ponte speaker have already highlighted from the Buddhist perspective, it is very important for us as not just the lay people, but the monk to refrain from committing the false speech. But if we look at the daily life as a honorary people, you know, how this false precept is relevant or is applied in our life. I think we all made familiar with I think since the childhood, I can reflect back when we study at the you know, like young age, our teacher have give us a very good tell story, which is, you know, like the question why as a human being we have 2 eyes, we have 2 ears, we have kind of you know, the nose with 2 2 here, and you know, all are 2, but why we have only 1 mouth? So this tell story always you know, reflect very reflective to our daily life, to understand the nature want to instruct us that, you know, be more considerate, listening more, kind of, you know, try to understand better through our eyes, through our ear, and but, you know, not not to use not to speak a lot, because we only have one mouth. So from that story, I think we all have been taught since young age, to understand that, you know, we should be more considerate. But from the a deeper understanding from a social and human rights perspective, um, we may come across to, you know, like access to information, for example, the right to access to information. So if you know, like people would you know, distribute a lot of fake news, for example,
Yeah.
we're talking about false speak, but in the access to information aspect, there is a term called fake news. So the fake news, if it is disseminated, the society will be in chaos. So that's why it was advised to the journalists, to other citizen journalists, to maintain the professionalism, not to you know, like spread the fake news, but try to inform the public the truth. The right to truth of the citizen is very important, so that they can make an informed decision. So in this aspect, we also talking about not just the fake news. The fake news is associated with three terms. One is the disinformation. Disinformation is the information that is false and deliberately created to harm a person, social group, or organization of a country. So, like Ponte have mentioned earlier, um, the false speak is not just about telling the lie, but it also connect with the intention. So, in from the legal and from human rights perspective, you know, it also involves the intention. It's not only about making the false news, but it is also the intention that that are created to harm others. So that is called disinformation. And there's another term we call misinformation. It is a bit different between the disinformation and misinformation, because disinformation, it involved with the intention. But when we're talking about misinformation, it it is also the information that is false, but not created with intention to cause harm for others. So it is kind of unintentional. Like, for example, we may receive the news that we don't know that it is false, but in fact the news is false, and then we assume that, oh, it's true. So we start to disseminate it unintentionally that it is false. So this misinformation is not, you know, it's not categorized as disinformation, because it's not intended to cause harm. It's just because we don't know. And then there's another term we call malinformation. Malinformation is it is a information that is real, that based on reality, but it is used to inflict harm on person or other, especially in the society. So it is similar to disinformation, but the malinformation is based on the reality. It's true, but people try to use this true with the with intention to cause harm, and it and if we link this term to the Buddhist perspective, it is indeed relevant with the false speak, as well as the kind of samavicca, you know, like to refrain from hate speak, from slanderous speak, and from the intention to cause harm of other. So I think in short, what I try to highlight is not so much different from Buddhist perspective, because somehow there's also study a lot that highlighting the linkage between the Buddhist perspective to human rights approach of work. You know, we use a lot of Buddhist approach in, in in our advocacy. So if we're talking about the 5 precepts, it is so much relevant to human rights work, because like not killing other, not you know, like stealing other property, and not to tell lie, like commit the false speak, for example. All of these are so much relevant, you know, like the right to living, the right to have private property, right to have a good family, like the to have a good happiness in the family without other to commit any affair, and also the right to true new, which is connected to the false speak here. And finally, you know, the right to work mindfully, that is connected with the how we commit to drink alcohol, for example. So this is a contradicting, and but what we could see, we have applied a lot of the Buddhist approach in human rights work. So
Thank
I
you.
end here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister Sophia, who explain about the false speech according to the social and human rights aspect, and especially you categorize about the information like disinformation, misinformation, and malinformation. I will come back to that that question, that term again regarding to the human right. But before we go into that, I want to give another question to Venerable Sadun about how why the Buddha laid down this precept, and how simple that the Buddha see the offenses and the misinformation or disinformation, or the disadvantage of false speech. So can you identify? Can you give us some fact or some example that the Buddha regarding those story or that story, and he lays down the Musawada, the fourth precept, please.
Yeah, thank you for the good question. I just now I just learned some fact from Sister Sophia. That's good. Just hearing, and then I got some fact from her. Thank you very much for your explanation. Some fact I got to know some more. You know, the false speak from my aspect. You know, the false speak, it can be the second killer. It can be regarded as the second killer, and it is even more worse than killings the human being in the lower uh, in the lower planes, in the lower state. Then, for example, killing the human being that lower in the lower state, and telling lie here is even more dangerous than the how to say in it's even more dangerous than the
Then the what?
I forgot that term.
That never mind.
It's even more dangerous than nuclear.
Nuclear. Okay.
Nuclear. Because you know, when one bring the misinformation to another, and it harm not only one person, but it harms the whole family. Even nuclear, sometimes it harm only one person, but the misinformation is harm the whole family. Like the Devadatta, you see, we come back to the story of Devadatta. He tried to discriminate the Sankhya order, and he divide the Sankhya order from the Lord Buddhas to his side, and then create the conflict in the society. That is the problem. To kill one family, to kill one society, it's even more worse than the killing. That is the uh, the dangers of the false speak, and why the Buddha laid down this false speak into the Buddhist monk, because we take based on the Vinaya, because of some Buddhist monks, they try to make a discriminate in the Sangha order, and so in order to perform the unions of the Sangha, so the Lord Buddha laid down this rule to prevent the Buddhist monks and to bring the harmonize to the communities of the Sangha order, to make them live in one.
Yeah.
That is why the Buddha laid down this rule for the Buddhist monks, as if anyone commits the false speak, like discrimination, or speak in the state of discord between the fearful, between one group and another, he will commit the barajika. If he commit that kind of speak, that monk is not regarded as a Buddhist monk anymore. And this is the cause why the Lord Buddha laid down the rule for the Buddhist monk. And for the lay devotee, for the Obasaka and Obasika, is the fourth precept. Here it is, the word for speak here is not the judgments of the moral judgments, which is contradicts to the bad or the good, but it is a gift or the pleasant to the fearful. It means that when we create the good speech and we utter with the good statements, it is a please, it is the happiness to the society, and so it brings the harmonize to the fearful. Mm-hmm. So that's why it is laid down by the Lord Buddha as the fourth precept. This is from my aspect and the background, that why the Lord Buddha laid down the five the precept for the Buddhist monk as well as to the lay devotee.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Venerable Sandidato. It is very meaningful about the background or the reason why the Buddha laid down this fourth precept. Especially if we look back to the rule, the Vinaya rule, or the discipline laid down by the Buddha himself about how bhikkhu or the order of monk commit wrong or commit false speech, and this speech affect many aspects in society, especially he carry untruth, carry false speech from place to place, and also he break the groups of the order of the monk. Is the higher commit in the Buddhist perspective that he will face anandariya karma. It means that he will definitely ruined. He will definitely down to Buddhist, down as a Buddhist monk, and also will rebirth into the hell. And because of that false speech, Buddha mentioned in many sutras like Rahulovada Sutra, Rahulovada Sutra, that he mentioned to his own sons about how speak, how the people who commit false speech, and how is the quality, how is the gratitude, how is the virtues of that person will be clear, no more or no quality, no virtue in that person. If we have time, we will come back to talk about it. But I give this further question to Sister Sophia. What happened if the people in the society they don't carry the truth? They don't carry the loyalty. They don't carry the good information and benefit and advantage of speech to the society. How if the people or the instruction or infrastructures of their government or leader or every people speak false or commit false speak, what happened to that society?
Thank you, Conte, for this great question. Indeed, it's still relevant with our earlier question to define the false speak. And earlier, I mentioned a lot on the linkage with the access to information, like the right to true, and it seemed like we just emphasize on the role of journalism, but indeed it is not only that. It just a kind of relevant. However, it is connected to all of our daily life, and the impact could be very like chilling, both if people commit the false speak one to another and then another. It will be very chaotic. But if we commit to the right speak with the Samavija, it would also create a positive effect as well. So before I answer to that, I just like to highlight, in the Pali Canon, especially in the Ankuruttara Nikaya, the Buddha mentioned about the importance of the right speak and the relevant into our daily life of the false speak as well. So I would read like herein someone avoid false speak and abstain from it. He speak the truth, is devoted to truth, worthy of the confidence and not a deceiver of the people, being at a meeting or among people or in a society or in the king courts and call upon and ask us witness to tell what he knew. If he knew nothing, he answered, I seen nothing. And if he have seen, he answered, I have seen. Thus, he never knowingly speak a lie, either for the sake of his advantage or for the sake of any other person or for the sake of any other advantage whatsoever. So with this statement, the Buddha revealed both the negative and the positive side of the precept. And the negative side from is abstaining from lying, and the positive side is speaking the truth. So the reason why I read this out loud, because if we see from what the Buddha tried to explain us, is in every aspect of our life, either at the meeting, either at the court. I think it involves a lot with the justice, the right to justice, the right to truth. It is very important. Being the witness at the court, being the either the especially for the victim, to be to receive the justice is important. That the court uphold the truth, the court uphold his or her independence, so that people will be receive justice. So this is very important. When people would abstain from false speak, it will create a harmonious society. So in short, I would say that false speak would resulting to first, like Ponte Sabun mentioned earlier, it would affect firstly is ourselves, is individual level, because the more we commit false speak, anytime we speak false, people will lose trust with us. People will start to to question, hey, what who are you? You always telling us lie. You never speak the truth. You break the you break the trust from other. So it is a personal integrity. We lose the dignity as a human being. I mean, people will see us, oh, this person cannot be trusted anymore. We should not, be friends, or we should not work with them. If for the business sector, people will start to avoid, doing business with with any person who often tell other the lies. So it's a personal integrity and dignity that got affected. But because the way or the nature of how people commit the false speak would not only cause the disadvantage for themselves, it can also cause harm to others. So it will affect from the personal level. One is losing the personal integrity and dignity, but also it can involve with a legal liability, meaning that if people commit kind of false speak that can cause harm to other, it can result him or her into the legal suit. For example, of the defamation, of the disinformation that I mentioned earlier, because even in the international human rights standard, the freedom of expression have its limitation. The limitation is not to speak that cause harm to other, cause harm other reputation, or that cause affecting the social order as well. And in Cambodian context, we have defamation charge, we have disinformation or incitement. But if we're talking about it is a bit complicated, because a lot of time this criminal charge have been used in the other way to kind of like accuse the citizen who speak the truth as well. So we could see people who may intentionally speak false can be in trouble, but the person who may commit to speak true can be also troubled by using the same legal provision. So it is a bit complicated, but because of the political motivated cases. But in general, we can see that at the personal level, it can affect us with the legal liability as well. But on the other hand, beside the personal effect, it is the society. The society that will be affected from those false speak. So if we have more politicians, for example, who always tell it constituency the lie, it's always propaganda, it's always populist approach, meaning people, the politician often try to please people, even they have to tell the lie, or they don't be principled, but in order to get people support, they will use that populist approach. So if we have more politicians who don't speak principally, who don't pursue their political career with integrity, we can see the danger of society. We can see how it will affect to the good governance. If we have more journalists who would not conduct its own independent and investigative journalism, what will be affecting the society? Like, the people cannot access to the truth. People will lose the chance to know what is right, what is wrong, or losing the chance to see the social irregularity. For example, if it comes to the corruption, if it comes to the deforestation, if people are fearful from speaking the truth, we lose the ability to know and to advocate for a better society. And also the same, if our society have a lot of people who are liars, I think our society would not be prosperous. And I think not telling the truth, and also having a lot of false speak in the society, it can create a chaos. For example, there have been a case in the past, for example, for example, in the COVID pandemic context, people start to suggesting that, oh, in the country that have that are in a kind of hot temperature will not be infected from COVID. That is very dangerous if we keep sending that message, because in Cambodia, in India, it's also hot country. Why? The cases are on rise right now. So we have to make sure that the information we would spread, or the information we would receive, is the truth. And we have to intentionally tell people the correct information so that they can comply or they can make that information useful in their daily aspect and not to avoid a further catastrophe, because if it concerning the public health, it's dangerous. And if it affected with national security, for example, if we say that, oh, assuming it just example is not real, assuming that like someone make a new for example, in a cinema or in a theater, very crowded, people are sitting and watching the movie, but suddenly someone shout, oh, there's a boom. What will happen? People will start running, and then it will be very dangerous. So the false speak would not only affect people at the individual level, but the harm can be realized by the society. So I would like to end here, Ponte.
Thank you very much, Sister Pierre. It is very meaningful explanation regarding the personal aspect and social aspect related to the false speech and the truth, especially the harmfulness or benefit. The effect of false speech to the society if the leader or politician or someone in the groups of many people who utter their wrong information and provide false information that will make many problems, especially the dangerous to the society. So the same question to Venerable Sandidato. What happened to those who commit false speech, and what happened to the society if people like to speak not truth? Yeah.
I just learned from Sisters of Pure right now a lot. Thus we can divide the speak into four, and that with regard to the intentions, we can divide the speak into four first, and one is the false speak with the false intention. The bad speak, it is the bad speak with the bad intention, and the second one is the good speak, but with the bad intention too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good speak in order to tell it lie.
Yeah.
Very good speaker, the second one. And the third one, the bad speak with the good intention. Then how do you think about that? Bad speak, you speak very bad, maybe it's not sweet to listen to. It's not nice to listen, but with the good intention. And the fourth one, maybe the good speak and the good intention. And among these four kinds of speak, maybe the fourth is the best, huh? Yeah. The fourth is the best. And the fourth also can be regarded as the Sammawaja. And the fourth, because in Sammawaja, here it is not mentioned only the false speak or telling lie, but it is the intentions. The first one is the abstinence from telling lies, to avoid from telling lie, and to avoid from venting talk, to avoid from the hate speak, or the hostile speak, and to abstain from the gossiping, not gossiping to bring the discord between one another. That, and if once they commit the false speak, the first thing that harm is to oneself first, as the Sister Superior already mentioned about that. The first that we got, in fact, is the person that is the speaker of the false speak. He himself, he have to commit, and he has to accept the bad result or consequence from his word. And the second is to the society. And how is there harm to the society? And the bad speaker, it maybe it caused a lot of the danger to especially in the court politic, like the sisters of Pip already mentioned about that. And however, I want to mention that even the good speak and those who dare to speak the truth, but they have to care about the right time to speak. Sometimes that is the true word and the truth, but we speak at the wrong time. It is also not good.
Yeah.
It's good for it's not good for earth. Sometimes we speak the truth, but it's not good for earth, right? That
Yeah.
And from this point, I want to take a story at the Buddha lifetime when Chunde, who is the pig killer, and then many Buddhist monks suggest why the Buddha not to preach the Dhamma to him. At that time, the Buddha did not preach the Dhamma to Chunde, and many other bhikkhu thinking that why the Buddha not preach the teachings to him, because he commit the bad action. He killed a lot of pig, the fig killer. And then the Buddha just respond, at that time, suppose if Chunda is about to go and kill to do that action, and if the Buddha appear, just make the Chunda more hate on the Buddha and promote his hate mind to the Buddha only. It is not the time that the Buddha to preach the teachings to him. And another story is the Inkulimala. You see, Inkulimala is about to kill his mother, and he commit a lot of killing. And but the Buddha think that maybe he go there and give only a short speak, and then Angulimala will get the holiness of his life, become the Arahanta. So the Buddha rushed to the Angulimala to convince him by his teaching. And so our speak is on the right place and at the right time. It's good for the listener, for both the listener and the speaker, for ourselves and for the listener as well. If we speak at the wrong time, it is not good for both. Just waste the time. It is waste the time only. Like we go back to the Dhamma Bhatta. And the Dhamma Bhatta, the Buddha mentioned, Yo saha sampe jevacha, anathapata sanghita, etang athapatang seyo, yang sutwa, upasamati. It better than 100 words. That is senseless and not bring the benefit. It's the word that one listening and got holiness of his life. Just listen a word, but he got the holiness in his life. So that word is the best. And so we use the word at the right time for those who are capable to achieve his holiness. And so the false speak here, maybe we have to consider about the intention. Mainly is the intention here. We have to take, because we have to care about the intentions. And some even they speak with the bad word and with the truth, but or with the bad word, but they speak with the good intentions. With the good intentions because of their character, so they cannot control their minds by utter the hatred or the violent word or the raising sound very loudly, but with the good mind.
Okay.
With the good mind.
Okay, thank you very much, Bante. Like you mentioned, I cut your word that false speech is based on intention, actually. So how if people lie or disformation through bodily action like writing, publishing, or giving something that misunderstand and introduce false information like writing newspaper, magazine, or publish the books. So it is related or considered as false speech, as the fourth precept of Buddhist people.
Can you repeat again that question?
As you mentioned, you mentioned that false speech is mainly caused by intention, but how about the bodily action? Can people lie with body, no speech?
Oh, I got it. Okay, the body. You mean that the body it is the physical action,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it is the bodily action, like stealing or killing, like that.
No, I mean, can somebody lie or can somebody bring misinformation by body and considered as the musawada or the false speech?
Mm-hmm. I think the mustawada here, as I mentioned before, it is the intentions that to utter the word that is not true, that they utter with the bad intentions. This is the speak with the bad intentions. That is the false speak.
Yeah.
Not telling lie, or not just choking, or not just the speaks to pursue someone or speaks to deceive someone, like that. But it is the speak with the bad intentions. Maybe they speak in order to harm other people, and they speak in order to cheat other people, and they speak with the hatred of their mind.
Mm-hmm.
That is mean that with the intention, with the bad intention to by any way that harm other people. It's not bring, or it's not go to the truth, or not go to bring their happiness to the society.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah.
What else?
Yeah, Sister Sophia. So if I write a letter, let somebody know that about, for example, now in COVID pandemic time. So if somebody writes a letter to let the society, let the governor know that the COVID will be released very soon, and it is already cured in our society, so no need to wear mask, no need to clean your hand, to sanitize your hand, etc. So the false information by writing, so is it considered as a false speech in our speech or not?
Thank you, Ponte. That related to the form of expression. When we're talking about freedom of expression, it constitutes in many forms. It's not only when we speak with voice, but it can be in writing, in like in printing, or like even expression. Body expression. For example, if we're talking about a protest. A protest, sometimes people don't need to shout. People don't need to just, speaking with microphone, but people can just simply dress up, with certain way of communication. For example, like I remember over decades ago, the forest activists, they try to wear the uniform as an animal, as a tree. You know, this is a form of expression. So in short, when we're talking about expression, freedom of expression, it can come in any form. And now with the online world, like digital world, you know, communicating online, typing, chatting, etc. It's also a form of expression. It's a mean of communication. So, like you mentioned, the case we have to investigate further. We can't quickly say that, you know, it is a kind of false information, and whether the person have caused harm. I mean, whether this should be liable or not, because, you know, committing a like for disinformation, it involved with intention, like Pante earlier mentioned. You know, it's not just about the action that we do, but it also involved with intention. So whether the person who have disseminated such a news, either in the form of letter or word expression, whether he have a bad intention, whether the information that he received is from home. Maybe it is announcement by the government saying that, well, you know, now COVID is over, it's free. Then, you know, if he disseminate that, it's nothing wrong. but if in the condition that, well, COVID is still, like nowadays, COVID is still on, and now it's even transformed to a new type of virus, and if the person intentionally try to disseminate false information, like he know that it is a false information, but then he keep sending that because maybe, I don't know, you know, like the person have a bad intention that, hey, you know, I want to test out whether people believe me or not, and then he quickly send out, and then boom, you know, like some people saw that new, oh, you know, now it's over. So when we go out, we don't need to wear masks. It will be problematic. It will cause social harm. It affects the public health. So then, you know, the person should be held accountable with that kind of intention. But if the person have no bad intention, he just receive news from maybe the source that send information to him is a trust one, maybe from the government, for example, then, I mean, the person is no and then the person have no bad intention. He know that, he assumed that the information received is true, so he keeps sending that. Then it is a different story. So I hope I answered to your question, Conte.
Thank you very much. This is very meaningful. That also we have some question and some sentence, helpful sentence, like the Venerable Bande Dhammapala said about action, written communication as also important. And Maitreya Sawan also raise a question: body language considered as a false speech. Actually, false speech here we said in mainly speech, but actually if we look back to the precept laid down by the Buddha, Musavada. So when the monk or people commit false speech, it is offenses accordingly, and based on Venerable Sidun mentioned about the kind and the types of false speech in according to the or the practice, especially the Buddhist monk. Buddhist monk have 6 types of false speech. So the first type you can commit, like Venerable mentioned, dukkata. It is the very bad action, dukkata or tukkat. It is a bad action, even though you not speak. When actually twice a month, the monk recite Patimokkha. The Patimokkha, the regulations of the Buddhist monk. When the monk recite the Patimokkha, the rule, 227 rules of the monk, and if one monk have commit any mistake, any precept, in that rule, and he still keeps silent. He not say anything. He commits another offenses called dukkha. Sampajana musavada. Sampajana musavada means musavada, false speak, because he aware, he know that he himself commit that precept or that wrong thing, but he not speak out. It is also considered as false speak, right? As we recite every Patimokkha, we hear Sampajana Musavada, Sampajana Musavada Dukkha. It is the wrong action or wrong perform wrong thing because of you don't speak, but you know about your fault. And also, if you act according to the fourth parajikas, the fourth precepts of the offenses of the monk, there is also kind like the monk practices, like he acts like he attends something. He acts like very good monk, but he's not good monk. He's not good virtues monk, but he act like very good monk because of he needs something, because of he need people to understand him is the good one, and gives many requisites. So this is also wrong, and commit offenses also according to the precept written by the Buddha in the first Tripitaka. So only like this, I just pick up that question regarding to the publish, because now we use social media like Facebook, chat, Twitter, or YouTube, or some other social media, especially publishing books. Many publisher author also have some kinds of spoil mind, spoil intention to the world, especially from invasions of colony. So they can write anything based on their presence, based on their research, and can change the history, can change the reality in the society, in the history of the country. And then many people believe that is the truth. It is also like a bad intention that appear in the society, especially according to the scientific review. They have their own ethical code, and most of their ethical code based on the truth, especially the fidelity or integrity and loyalty, truth, prosperity, and also the principle, based on principle, psychological performance require honest communication, truth telling, or promise keeping, or accuracy in the science, teaching, and practice of society, psychology. In standards of the psychologists, mentioned that psychologists need to show loyalty, truthfulness, and the honesty in the intellectual sermon. And following the psychology, psychologist does not relate in escape or intentional misrepresentation of fact. Psychologists must take responsibility for their work or speech, including the content in the books they publish. This responsibility shows the academic integrity that employ the prices of loyalty, prosperity, fairness, respect, truth, accountabilities, and responsibility in academia. So based on academics and scientifics, even though publish the books or reading article or newspaper or magazine or anything related to the false speech. So thank you very much, both speaker that introduce and show our very important. The time is out, but I still have a final question for you both. We talk about the disadvantage and some advantage of false speech. And we know that misinformation or disinformation or malinformation is affect to the society in bad way. And observing the truth, observing the right speech also benefit to the society. But how can we develop oneself to be loyal, and how can we develop people in our society to practice in right speech? So how can we develop, how can we have, how can we share, and how can we encourage our society to speak the truth? Bante Seden first, please.
To practice the samavaja, in order to away from the musavada, it means that to develop on the samavaja, the right speech. And so, however, we have the two dhamma that the Buddha mentioned in Anguttara Nikaya for a person to develop themselves by consider on the moral standard, the moral same, like theory is mean that the moral same, and all the part, the moral dread. So he have to be scared, and the effect or the consequence of our word or our speech. We have to consider and to contemplate on the consequence of that action, and through the consequence of the false speech, it will bring the disadvantage to ourselves in the present life as well as in the future. One is the disadvantage in our business. If someone they run the business, they're doing something with their other friends, maybe they got the dishonest and they from other people. Then other people they sold the dishonest to them because of they are untrustful. So the people not going to believe them. And the other thing is to develop for the right speak here, samavaja, to develop the like the loving kindness as well as the compassion. If we speak, we think that if we speak with the hatred, we speak from the malevolence, we speak from the violence, so maybe it's hurt the other persons. And so we develop the loving kindness as well, and the compassion to other beings. So we can develop the samavaja in oneself. It is the way that we can develop from there.
Thank you very much. The most venerable mentions about how about the model, the role model like Hiri, the shameful models on the loving kindness and the compassion to the people in society. So how about you, Sister Sophia? How can we develop our people in societies in speaking truth?
Thank you, Conte. And in addition to what Conte Sedun have highlighted, I would echo that, follow the pathway that the Buddha have guided us, the eight way of, to liberate ourselves. With one is the right speak, the right speak by refrain from, the false speak, the malicious or the hate speak, or the idle chat, like something that is not useful, it's not just always speaking, but that is from a Buddhist perspective. However, in the daily life, I think simply just relate to the story that I said earlier at the beginning, about the nature who try to tell us, something important, why we have two eyes, why we have two ears, and only one mouth. So just to be considerate, like try to speak less, but listening more, watch more, try to consider how things happening. So when we can be, you know, if from a scientific point of view, and you know, a good communicator is someone who are not only good at speaking, but is someone who are good at listening. So you know, listening more, then we can understand better. Being mindful, you know, mindful here is always, it is also related to the way that we try to listen to others. So when we listen more, we understand better, and then we can articulate better, not just to react to the situation, but to respond in a way that can be useful. So practicing, you know, being a good communicator from a scientific point of view, but also following the Buddha advice, you know, at the way to practice more on the speak. The right speak here, like Ponte said earlier, it's not only about you know, like speaking the truth. Sometimes if we don't speak at the right time, right place, it is not also effective. So we have to be mindful. I think the key word here is being mindful. And even if we learn from the Buddha,
okay, yeah.
Yes, if we learn from the Buddha life. I remember, you know, like in the communication of the Buddha with the Vajjakota, you know, that he questioned the Buddha about the Atman, and then the Buddha kept silent. So the Buddha know right away the nature of the man, that you know, he always keep questioning, and if the Buddha would answer right away, it's not an effective. So sometimes I think what we learn from the Buddha, there are 4 ways at how we treat people question. It's not always we have to answer or speak, but we can based on the situation, based on the person, based on the time, that we can answer directly. In certain case, we can answer them by, you know, analyzing the question, and sometimes we can answer by counter question. Sometimes we don't need to explain everything, but we questioning back. That is the way that the Buddha taught us. And finally, you know, if then we just put the question aside, meaning being silent. So if we can't speak something useful, maybe the best way is to keep the noble silent. And the noble silent is something that I personally have learned during the practice of Vipassana, you know, the 10-day course. It's really meaningful, because as a human being, although we have only one mouth, we like to talk a lot. Like right now, you know, I keep talking, but you know, like people are not stay still to keep calm for even an hour. Imagine if we ask people to sit in a room, like imagine in a classroom, before the teacher come, student will chat, keep talking. But when the teacher come, everyone keep silent. So the story is the same. Like during the 10-day course, I learned a great deal of, you know, practicing the noble silence, meaning not to speak at all. What would happen? It's really meaningful by just giving ourselves a reflection. You know, so I can imagine in a situation that we don't need to talk a lot, but it does not mean that we should not be engaging in the society, but it just to be mindful, speaking at the right time, right place, and right thing to speak out. So this is how I think we can you know, like contribute to the better society and for ourselves as well.
Thank you very much, Sister Sophia. It is very meaningful and grateful from 2 of you. Upasika Sarita said that if you can control your mouth, there's no way you can hope to control your mind. That is right. Speech is so important in day-to-day practice. It is true. Thank you. Thank you, Upasika Sarita Noch. We talk about the false speech and also a little bit about right speech and the controls of speech. And even though we cannot tell all the aspects according to the Buddha's teaching, but I think we indicate some points of view, and maybe our audiences can catch the meanings of the fourth speech and the topic that we are discussing today. And what the final question that we are discussing right now, and then I just mentioned short about the Chola Rahulovada Sutra in Majjhima Nikaya, that the Buddha advised to the only son, Rahula, who was at that time as a novice, the small novices, and then the Buddha just advised accordingly, those who speak false, there is no any virtues, like the jar contains no water. So if you want to know exactly and clearly about how to promote the people, the human being to speak truth and to know the values of the truth, you can read that Chola Rahulovada Sutra in Majjhima Nikaya. The Buddha mentioned clearly about the speech, and also the four kinds of speech that mentioned by Venerable Sandidatto, also mentioned in Chola Rahulovada Sutra and some other sutra in Majjhima Nikaya. So thank you very much for our distinguished speakers, and also the audiences who are listening from the start to the end. So now our live show of the Buddha Sasana programs of our the Cambodian Buddhist Monk Society. The time is end right now, so I don't want to go further, and we will meet in another topic or the upcoming topic with Venerable Soktevi, because I just only just only comes when he was in when he is busy. So I just come sometimes. It's not my program, and it's not my not my professional speakers, because I'm not skillful in English speaking, and also I was speaker from Cambodia and from various places, so we are not a native English speakers. So if any wrong, any misunderstand, or wrong action, or you cannot understand clearly about our speaking, so please do apologize about that, and then we will develop ourselves speaking and doing some research to promote and to show more benefit and show to our audiences. So thank you very much. And finally, Venerable Sansidan, Sister Sophia, and me. So we'll end the show. But yeah, I don't forget to give you like a 30-second each to give a last message and say goodbye. Venerable Sansidan, please unmute it. You. Yeah.
And by speaking the truth, like in Metta Sutta, and with the best wishes to everyone at the weekends, and we hope everyone may try to develop the right speech in order to bring the harmonize and bring the happiness to the communities, to the societies, and as the speak is the integrate, it is the means of relations between the human and inhuman. So it is very important in our daily lives than any other things, because with the misinformations, maybe it can cause the dangers to other people, and it can hurt the light and hurt the minds of other people. And so tries to use our word to utters with the sweet word to other people to make them happy and to please other people. And so by the holiness, by the truth, may all beings be healthy and happy, and may all beings be free from suffering.
Thank you very much, and Sister Sophia.
Thank you so much, Conte, for the final, the chance for final message. I encourage that we all, as a Buddhist especially, but for anyone, to start practicing the right speak, because by practicing the right speak, by including the refraining from telling the lie, from speaking malicious or hate speak, this can help us to naturally speaking the truth, and speaking the truth somehow is more easier, I believe, because I think for those who try to speak early, or committing the false speak, it take more time because we have to think we have to think and plan out, oh, how should I say something that other people can easily be convinced. So we will take more effort, more time, and it can be very headache to plan out all of this. So to live happily, telling the truth easier. We don't need to plan. We just speaking the truth. But I also need to echo the Buddha advice as well. By speaking the truth is important, but speaking at the right time, right place, and one should not just just speak out without mindfulness. So we should be mindful, and finally is one, if one cannot speak something useful, I think we should keep noble silent, and noble silent is somehow a way to express ourselves as well, like the Buddha have taught us in a way to handle with a different situation, because sometimes being challenging, it is not also helpful, but listening more and try to be mindful in a way of doing. Thank you, Pante.
Thank you very much about the two distinguished speakers. Yeah, how do Buddhists speak? So to be a Buddhist, we have to speak the truth, loyalties, and also speak meaningful, and our speech is benefit to ourselves and to the society. So thank you very much for our the most venerable Mahasangha and all the lay devotees as audiences today. And we wish you all healthy and free from all suffering. So thank you very much.
Thank you.